Hey guys, it's Kara from iStampin.com. Thanks for joining me today. Today I've got this really simple but really sweet card to show you. This is using the Cake Soirée stamp set along with this little 4x4 envelope, custom envelope that I made from our envelope punch board. This is the coordinating Sweet Soirée Specialty Designer Series paper. So this is a really simple card. I think you're going to like it. I pulled the colors from this card from the Specialty Designer Series paper. This stamp right here where it says, "I'm lucky to have a friend like you," that's actually coming from Charming Café. I thought the fonts, the sentiment itself was just really sweet, so I thought that would be fun to mix that up. So I'm using Charming Café and Cake Soirée, and you can find both of these stamp sets in our Occasions catalog along with the Designer Series paper. But before I get started, I just have a reminder. I know I've been mentioning this, so I just, the last few times I've done a video, but I just want to mention it again in case you are watching my channel for the very first time. I have a free card class this month. It's using the Lots of Lavender Celebration stamp set. Celebration ends at the end of this month, so you still have time to grab this stamp set for free. When you spend $50 or more in my online store before tax and shipping, you can choose this stamp set as your free celebration item, and you will get a link to my online classroom for this class. Then also be sure to use the host code also on your online order. If it's $150 or more, you don't want to use that host code, but you will still get the class for free, as well as anybody who uses my host code this month will receive a free gift from me next month. And so if your order is $150 or more, you'll get that code, or you'll get that free gift as well. And then my last announcement is, and guys, you truly do not want to miss this. During iStampin Live tomorrow, which is my Facebook Live, which starts at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, I have a very exciting announcement to make. So head on over to iStampin, like my Facebook page if you haven't already, and set the notifications to see when I go live, because the announcement that I have, I'm really excited, and I know y'all are going to be just as excited as me. All right, so let's get started. I've got everything cut out for us to make this go a little bit easier. You are going to need to cut a piece of a Berry Burst cardstock. This measures 8 inches by 4 inches, and I've already scored this at 4 inches, so that's going to give us our 4x4 card. So just take your bone folder and burnish that at the score mark. We can put that off to the side. The next thing you're going to do is go ahead and cut a piece of Whisper White cardstock. This is just a 1/4 inch smaller. So this measures 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Now this is where we're going to do our stamping, and these are the colors that you will need to grab to do the little pattern that I did. So I've got Berry Burst, Old Olive, and Powder Pink. And like I said, I pulled these colors from the Sweet Soirée Specialty Designer Series paper. So that's a great way if you're having like a block with what kind of colors to use. Always grab or always look in our catalogs at the Designer Series paper. See something that kind of like, you know, piques your interest or really inspires you, and pull colors from that. That's the easiest thing to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and make our little pattern here. And like I said, I'm using Cake Soirée, and the stamps that I used are, let me make sure before I tell you. Okay, I am using this image right here. I'm using the outline image of the small rose or flower, and then I'm using the solid image of the same flower. I couldn't remember if I was going with the bigger one, or is that the bigger one? Yes, I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm using the outline of the larger flower, and then the solid image of the smaller flower, and then the outline image of that little greenery. And This isn't gonna look pretty when I make it, but when we cover it up with the sentiment, it kind of, you know, it all comes together. All right, so I'm gonna start off with Berry Burst and using the solid image, and I'm just gonna kind of stamp this around in a circle. And I'm going to vary the way my flowers are going. And I'm just gonna do an odd number. So something like that, okay? And now I'm gonna come in with the outline image, the larger flower, and I'm gonna come in with powder pink and just kind of come in between and stamp that image. And if I overlap onto the Berry Burst, that's okay. I'm not worried about that. All right, so we've done that. And then the last thing we're gonna do on this panel is come in with the little greenery image, leafy guy thing, whatever I'm trying to say, with Old Olive, and I'm just gonna kind of fill in, just like so. And this is, you know, really just a very simple technique. You can make a lot of cards like this really fast, and you know, it doesn't really take a whole lot of, you know, effort to do this. Okay, so let's go ahead and set that aside. And the next thing you're going to do is just grab a piece of powder pink cardstock. Doesn't have to be this big, but we're going to do some heat embossing. I'm going to use my white embossing powder. So first thing I want to do is to rub the cardstock with my Embossing Buddy, making sure that I get all of that static off from my fingers, the oils. And I'm going to be using VersaMark ink to stamp the sentiment, which says, whoops, I am lucky to have a friend like you. Okay, and I'm just going to stamp that right there. And then I've got my little powder tray right here and my white embossing powder. So I'm just going to sprinkle that over the stamped sentiment. So you can kind of see it right there. And then let's get the heat tool and let's heat this up. Okay, so just grab your heat tool, go ahead and set it to the second setting, let it warm up for a few seconds, and then bring it to the paper. Okay, and when you see that the powder has melted into a glossy finish, that's when you know it is all done. Now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your second smallest stitched shape square. This is from our stitched shape framelits, and you're going to die cut that out. Now at the same time, you are going to want to get a piece of Old Olive cardstock, and you are going to want to find the coordinating scallop framelit. So this framelit that is just a little bit larger than this, and go ahead and die cut that out at the same time. So I've already die cut this out using Old Olive, but let's go ahead and do this one really quick. Okay, so it's going to look like this when you die cut it out. See how pretty that white embossing looks on the powder pink. And recently I really am wanting to have a third layer to my stamped element, or to my little layering elements. So I mean, you could very well do that if you want to, but just for whatever reason I feel like I need that second layer. So what I've done is I've cut our Dazzling diamonds. This measures 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and that is just the perfect size that I need to be able to layer the powder pink on top of the Dazzling diamonds, and then this onto the scalloped square. Okay, so I like to use tear and tape when I'm adhering cardstock onto Glimmer paper. There we go. All right, so let's just place this on there evenly. Okay, and you can just press down. I pop this, the whole element up on dimensionals. You could do it either way, whichever way you prefer, but I'm going to do it this way. Oops. Okay. I just love that glimmer paper. I didn't do that on my sample. I thought about doing that when after I made it, and I just used plain Whisper white cardstock, but I really like the glimmer paper. I think that adds just the right amount of sparkle. Okay, and then I'm going to put this up on dimensionals, and then this is going to go in the center of our little stamped floral pattern, and it will look a lot better once we cover up our little gap. Whoops. Get that on straight. Make sure. All right. And then now what we can do is just stick this onto our card base. And our card is all done. So you've made a sweet little friendship card using the Cake Soirée stamp set along with Charming Café. And so let me bring in the custom envelope that I made. So this is using these, like I said, the Sweet Soirée Specialty Designer Series paper and the envelope punch board. So this measures, I think it's 6 7/8 by 6 7/8. And then you just follow the guidelines on where to score and just put it together. It's really, really easy. Okay guys, well I hope you liked today's project. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel as well as my newsletter. If you aren't, you can head on over to istampin.com. At the very top, just sign up for my newsletter. And again, make sure that you like my Facebook page so that you can hear first all about my announcement that I'm going to be making tomorrow, Friday, how about March? My gosh, March the 9th at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, guys, I'll see you then. Bye.